this is my delayed video. It should have been my work in progress Wednesday. I was trying to do a video every Wednesday, a bit of a work in progress, but I thought instead I would do like a bit of a summary video to be sort of what I'm working on at the moment and what's on my desk, and I will endeavour to release videos and photos of stuff I'm working on at the moment. I mean, immediately I've been working on the Defcopters, so I love the Defcopters. I've actually got 6 of them here and 3 of them left to build, and I've magnetised all of the rotors, just a simple little magnet in there and on the top. That allows me to transport them easier. You can also interchange all of these, they're the same way up with the magnets, just to mix them up a bit. So I've got Defcopters at the moment that are sort of on the go. I just wanted to go over a couple of my sort of clan models, as it were. I was a big Bad Moons player for some time, and this is how I've done my Bad Moons. I've been asked in the past about how I've done my skin. So the skin that I do on my orcs is quite cartoony and quite kind of bright compared to the kind of dank, dirty sort of 40k grim dark. I do quite a lot of cartoony kind of colours. So this is one of my Bad Moon models. The yellow I actually use, a lot of people struggle with yellow. I actually use this really old 40k Landon Dark Sun. I've got 2 pots of this left. I've also got the best flesh colour. I've got 2 pots of this Talon flesh as well, and these 2 are like gold dust. I always use this on the lips of all of my orcs, also on their knuckles, their elbows, anywhere that they would have a bit of wear and tear. But this is a foundation colour. For those of you that may not know, this predates the base colours. It's quite a kind of thick paint. You definitely need to add a tiny bit of water to it, but not too much. And I still do sort of 2 thin coats on it, but it does give you this kind of like dingy kind of yellow. And then I highlight it up with something bright. I'm currently using the Moon Dust from Army Painter. Here's another kind of example of the yellow on like a larger scale. So this is my battle wagon. These are just going to fall off, so I might as well take them off while I show you the battle wagon itself. So this is done in exactly the same way. Again, I've magnetised the front so I can swap out having the plough or having the death roller for the front. But this is done with the Landon Dark Sun. I then actually do a flesh wash over the top of it that goes in all of the gaps, and then I tidy it up with the Landon Dark Sun again, and then I use a really bright yellow being the Moon Dust, and then I go just inside that dark colour with a Rhinox hide just to give it this kind of chipped effect, and then I dot all of the rivets. So it's a relatively straightforward kind of paint scheme that I've used, and that is probably the majority of my army, I would say, are Bad Moons. But then I also have a couple of other orc clans that I do. So this guy isn't based, apologies. This is my big mech. This is just a simple big mech that I use. He kind of follows around Ghazghkull in his unit. But yeah, not a huge amount to say about him. He's the fantasy character that normally, I can't think of his name. I may pop it on the screen once I've done a bit of research. But he's normally got like a gripper, like an anvil. He comes with the little squig that looks like an anvil as well. I've got that kicking around somewhere. But that's the base model. I do really like his model. So that's my big mech that follows Ghazghkull around. And he's in the Goths colour. So it's quite a lot of blacks, checker patterns, and reds. Here's just a Goth orc knob. I do like the Goths, and I have done a couple of small units for them, just mainly to follow Ghazghkull around. I quite like the fact that named characters kind of have their bodyguard retinue in the same kind of clan. So Doc Grotznick is one of my favourite characters, and I created this absolute beast for my Doc Grotznick. So the legs are made out of the newest Orc Knob. The body is made out of, the body and the arm up to the wrist is made out of the Beast Snagger Pain Boss, as is the head. I then use the Power Claw from, I think, the Orc Boy set, and then just a hand from the Orc Boy set, and then various other kind of gubbins on him. I've also painted up the rips in his jeans. So the only thing that ties in my whole army is that everybody has denim jeans of some sort. The Goths do have denim jeans, but they are a very dark black kind of denim. But all the rest of the models have denim jeans. It ties them all together. So that's my Grotznick, and he is obviously a Death Skull. I'm going to have to rebase this guy, but this was my Weird Boy. So he is off of the Beast Snagger, the really big monster that the Beast Snaggers have that they ride on. I can't remember what it's called at the moment. Killrig. He's normally got a two-handed kind of chainsaw thing, and I converted him into being my Weird Boy. He's only on a 40mm base, so I'll have to put him on a 50mm base and scale him up. But again, he's in the Goth colours because he sometimes follows Ghazghkull with the big mob of boys. He also has a couple of mushrooms there growing out of him because, you know, he's weird. So that's my Weird Boy. I've then just started doing some Evil Sons. So I feel that a lot of my Speed Freaks should be Evil Sons, and this is one of my Evil Sun bikers. I'm very excited for the new Evil Sons to be coming out. This red is a pretty simple GW kind of Mephiston red with I always want to say Devlan Mud Wash, but it's Agrax Earthshade Wash, and then I do a layer of Evil Sons and then an edge highlight of Wild Rider Red. So that's kind of how I do those. So I just thought I'd do a little bit of an update about some of the clans that I've been working on, some of the paint schemes I've done. I'm going to be putting up some videos of how I do the orc flesh and various other bits and pieces. I've recently finished my Wazdaka. I slightly changed his base to change the angle because I felt that he was leaning over just slightly. So I changed the base just slightly and filled that in with some rocks and various other things just to kind of give him that little bit of size. You'll also notice that he has a quiff. So for those of you that may know my old models way back in, blimey, 6th edition, my whole army had 1950s quiffs. They were called the Rockabilly Rednecks. They all had quiffs, they had denim jeans, and the story behind them was they thought that their hair squigs made them go faster. So they were based on 1950s rockabillys, and I followed that through, but only for my Evil Sons. So my Evil Sons have all got these quiffs that I've sculpted on with green stuff. So yeah, that's just a little bit of an update about where I'm at. And that'll be it for today. I'll show you some more videos in a couple of weeks. Apologies for the length of the video. I hope you enjoyed.